right, good morning, everyone. Today is 9/24/20. We're going to be taking down some notes, so make sure your notebook is out, ready to go. We're going to copy down everything I write down. So today we're going to be learning about multiplying and dividing integers. Integers are positive and negative numbers. So just to review, we already learned how to do, for example, -6 plus 2, right? The signs are different, so you're going to subtract, you get 4. And then are there more negatives or are there more positives? There's more negatives, so your answer is -4, right? Okay, we learned how to do those. Now, today we're going to be learning how to multiply and divide. So it's a little bit different. The rules are a little bit different. So we're going to write down the rules first. Okay. It starts off the same way as these rules. If the signs are the same, it's going to equal a positive number. That's it. So if the signs are the same, it's going to equal a positive number. For example, -5 times -3. Now remember, that dot means multiplication, right? We no longer use the x for multiplication because that gets confused with the variable. So we're going to use the dot. Okay, so -5 times -3. So the signs are the same. They're both negative, right? This is a negative, this is a negative. So they're both negative. So when they're negative, your answer is actually a positive. Very different than up here. So my answer is positive 15. So if they're both negatives, it equals a positive. I know. Number 2, if the signs are different, then it equals a negative number. If the signs are different, it equals a negative. So if the signs are the same, it equals a positive. If they're different, it equals a negative. Now for this one, like for these rules for multiplication and division, it doesn't matter what you have more of, what you have less of, it's just your signs. So kids 100% get confused. They confuse these rules with the rules we learned a couple of days ago. So if I have -2 times, let's say 8. Another way to write multiplication is you don't write the dot, right? You just kind of squish everything together. And if they're squished everything together, you have to set up parentheses. That also means multiplication. So here I have a negative, here I have a positive. So I'm going to multiply these. 2 times 8 gives me 16. Now do you see how the signs are different? So your answer is negative. Now I know that there's more positives, right? But in multiplication and division, it doesn't matter what you have more of. It just matters your signs. Now, again, students get confused, but I would hope that you just look at these notes when you're doing these problems just to remind you. All right. So same thing for division. If I have 25 divided by -5, parentheses to kind of keep the negative together. So 25 divided by -5. So this is a positive, and this is a negative, right? So if they're different, I know I'm going to be having a negative answer. I don't even look at the numbers. All I have to look at the signs. 25 divided by -5, well, that would give me 5, -5. So my answer is -5. So recap. If the signs are the same, it's going to equal a positive. So if they're both negatives, it equals a positive when you're multiplying or dividing. In here, when the signs are different, you see negative, positive, positive, negative, it will always equal a negative. No matter which number is bigger, doesn't matter which number came first, that doesn't matter. It just matters these symbols. Okay, so make sure you copy that down. Okay, so let's do some problems together before we move on to some classwork. Now I am going to give you a quiz on this on Monday, so make sure you have your notes available so that, you do well on Monday's quiz. A little quiz just to make sure you're paying attention today. All right, so if I have -12 divided by -3, Okay, so it's division problem. This is a negative, this is a negative. So they're the same, right? So if they're the same, you know it's going to equal a positive, right? So now you just divide like usual. What's 12 divided by 3? That would be 4, right? So negative 12 divided by negative 3 is equal to 4. And that's it. Um, what if I have, oh, here's another way of writing this. What if I have negative 36 divided by 6? So here's another way of writing division with a division bar. It looks like a fraction. Well, this fraction bar means division, okay? So we can write it like this, or we can write it like this. They all mean the same. They mean division. So this is a negative, and this is a positive. So are they the same or different? They're different. So if they're different, you know it's going to equal a negative. So then now you just do the math like usual. 36 divided by 6, that would be 6. But I told myself that it would be negative, so I put the negative sign. So negative 6. All right. So let's say I have 7 times negative 2. Right? So again, when they're squished together, that means it's multiplication. This one is a positive, and this one's a negative, right? A positive and a negative. So we have a positive and a negative. You're going to get a negative answer because they're different. Because they're different, you're going to get a negative. What's 7 times 2? 14. So it's negative 14 because the signs are different. I know you have more positives, but that's not the rule for multiplication and division. Multiplication and division are completely different than the adding rules. And we haven't even talked about subtraction. We won't talk about that until a couple days from now. If I have negative 8 times negative 4, remember there's an invisible dot right there that you can't see, but it's there. Okay, so this one's a negative, this one's a negative, so they're both negative, right? So if they're both negative, you're going to get a positive answer. So it's positive 32. All right, so right now what I would like you to do is the assignment you're going to turn into me today is to take a picture of your notes and upload to Canvas. So you're going to take a picture of your notes, these notes, and upload it to Canvas, okay? So you got to make sure, if you wrote them all on the same page, fantastic. If it's 2 pages, that's fine. So you're going to take a picture of your notes, okay? So you can either take a picture of all of this or this, depending on how much you wrote and where it's located. So I want to see these. You take a picture of your notes and you upload them to Canvas. I will give you credit for just copying down the notes. Okay, the next assignment is classwork assignment. You're going to have a couple problems to do, and of course, upload it to Canvas. I'll see you guys on Monday with a quiz.